On the 8th of August, 2023, 1,000 buses drove out onto a piece of ground that had not existed 13 years earlier. They came to take 36,000 teenagers off it. 273 police cars escorted the convoy. 4 helicopters flew above it. A typhoon was closing on the coast, and more than 600 people had already been treated for heat illness on a site with almost no shade. The World Scout Jamboree had brought children from 156 countries to Saemangeum on the west coast of South Korea. It was meant to run 12 days. It broke apart in 8. The strangest part is not the storm, it is the ground. South Korea spent 19 years and nearly 3 trillion won building that ground, and it was not built for tents. In November of 1991, engineers began driving rock into open sea south of the port city of Gunsan. They were building a wall between 2 headlands, 33.9 kilometers of it, 290 meters wide at the base, 36 meters tall, wide enough on top to carry a highway. It beat the Zuiderzee Works in the Netherlands by 1.4 kilometers, a record that had stood since 1932. In August of 2010, Guinness certified it as the longest man-made sea barrier on Earth. Behind it, the wall sealed off 401 square kilometers of estuary and tidal flat. 2/3 the area of Seoul taken out of the sea, and all of it was for one crop. The plan was 283 square kilometers of new farmland and 118 square kilometers of freshwater lake to irrigate it. Together, close to 1/10 of South Korea's rice. So walk the wall today and the question is obvious. Where is the rice? The answer is that South Korea stopped needing it while the wall was still being built. Rice consumption per person fell for decades. Yields kept rising. By the 2000s, the country was producing more rice than it could eat and paying to store the surplus. The one thing Saemangeum was designed to deliver was the one thing there was already too much of. So the government redrew the map. In 2007, the land use plan was cut to 30.3% agriculture. By October of 2008, the official split was 30% farmland, 70% industry, tourism, and a business city that mostly has not arrived. The farmland was canceled. Nobody stopped building the wall. Saemangeum had already become the loudest environmental fight in modern Korean history. In 1996, a reclaimed lake further north, Lake Sihwa, turned toxic. Sealing off tidal water had killed it. Every objection to Saemangeum suddenly had a working example up the coast. What followed was 15 years of lawsuits, fishermen, monks, environmental groups, commissions that suspended the work and commissions that restarted it, Korean courts that read the same evidence and disagreed on whether the project made economic sense at all. The fight fed directly into the Wetland Conservation Act of 1999. The wall closed anyway in 2006. Because by then it was no longer a means to anything. 15 years and trillions of won were already in the water. Stopping meant admitting all of it was wasted. Finishing meant it was infrastructure, which leaves the land. And the land is salt. This was seabed. Surface salinity ran above 10 decimens per meter, several times what rice tolerates. You have to wash it with drainage tile and fresh water for years, and the salt keeps rising back through the soil in dry weather. So what actually grows out there is Italian ryegrass and tall fescue, salt-tolerant winter forage, cattle feed, planted partly because it survives, partly because it pulls salt out of the ground, and partly to hold down the dust, because bare reclaimed seabed blows inland. 19 years, nearly 3 trillion won. The longest seawall ever built, growing grass for cows. At the end of the wall there is a memorial tower put up in April of 2010. 33 meters tall for 33.9 kilometers. It is called the Promised Ground. What is under it was one of the most important tidal flats in East Asia, a stopover for migratory shorebirds running between Australia and the Arctic, and a working seafloor. The fishermen had a calendar for it: baby octopus in one season, cuttlefish in another, then crab, then clams dug by hand at low tide. And in the summer of 2023, 36,000 children pitched tents on it, and 1,000 buses came to take them home.